pregunta la realiza Leandro Santiago por el medio Brasil de Fato.
Buenas tardes,
Good afternoon, Minister. I would like to know if you know where all this weaponry that was seized was produced and all that structure that was seized. And I wanted to take the opportunity to speak about that military deployment that alleged. Well, I would like to ask what is the real situation of the deployment if you have information? Well, last week, you were not there in Natillo. I presented sniper rifles that were seized. Some of the colleagues were there and they saw them. Among those things, there were 23, if I recall correctly, 22 were US made. There was something that truly amazes, that truly astonishes, which was a sniper rifle with a silencer, caliber .50 caliber. What does this mean? No one has this kind of weaponry at home. A bad sniper 1 kilometer away can aim, tear a person in half, and no one would listen. That's what they want to do here in Venezuela. Violence. We experienced this, Lorenzo, in 2002, when the same people that today belong to these drug gangs put snipers in Venezuela and killed their own people. I always remember this. The first injured person by those snipers was someone that worked in the vice presidency, a young man, and when he opened a door, he was shot in the head. There were snipers close. What was the aim? What do they aim with this criminal alliance of political sectors that are conspiring with drug traffickers and what remains of criminal groups? What is their aim? They have no values because they don't care. They are in the service of violence. And the deployment that we're doing within the Venezuelan territory is real. We cannot lie. We are not going to we cannot say we're going to deploy 3,000 men and then we don't do it. No, we do it. And we care for our territory, both land and air, and also all our waters, whether it is a river or sea. The world must know, well, the world knows that the north coast of Venezuela is in the Caribbean Sea. We have a small area of the Atlantic, but we have nothing on the Pacific. We would like to, but we don't have one. Not a centimeter we have on the Pacific. On the Pacific is Colombia, is Ecuador, is Peru, and all the other countries going south, which represent 87% of drugs produced in Colombia. And we do it to protect our border. And above all, our president has said this, is the guarantee of peace. They have played, Lorenzo, to say to the world that Venezuela is sieged, that in Venezuela there are tanks and there's wars on the streets. Venezuela has today, Lorenzo, thanks to the policies, to our policies, one of the lowest, I won't say the lowest, but it is there to see, of crimes by 100,000 inhabitants, 1.92. 1.92.
Douglas Rico que lleva eso al detalle cada semana.
For example,
aquí,
here,
en esta ciudad hermosa de
in this
Caracas,
beautiful city of Caracas,
en esta ciudad hermosa de Caracas, era común un fin de semana
it was very common on a weekend
muertos.
to see 3 dead on a weekend.
Estoy hablando del siglo pasado.
And I'm not speaking about last
Bueno, sí, del
century.
siglo pasado, pero no te estoy hablando
Well,
de
last century, but I'm not talking about 1930s or the 40s.
en los 80, en los 90.
They killed young men here in the 80s and the 90s just for a pair of shoes. And you can ask.
De eso hay registro en todos los medios.
All media have record of this. That today our country has 1.92 crimes
Cada 100,000
per 100,000 inhabitants.
casi ningún país.
Almost no country has this in the world.
Casi ningún país del mundo. Algunos que tienen y pagan propaganda.
There are some that
Yo no sé
pay
qué
propaganda,
dedican a su trabajo. Aquí cualquier persona.
but we in
la
silence do the
hicieron
work.
de barrios aquí en Venezuela. Terrible.
The vilification they did of neighborhoods here in Venezuela, why do they did that? Why do they vilify the neighborhoods?
Pero ¿dónde encontramos
Because
nosotros
that's where the
armas?
humble people live.
En un barrio.
But where do we find the weapons? In a neighborhood?
Manuel Atillo,
No.
periodista que fue
We
a una
find it
casa
in
donde-
Atrillo. There are journalists here that went to the home where we
¿Quién
went.
los trae?
Who brought them?
Muchacho del barrio.
A young man from a neighborhood? No,
Pero los satanizaron.
but they were vilified
Porque ellos dijeron, "Ser
Because-
pobre es sinónimo
because
de
they
ser
said
delincuente".
that being poor is synonym of being a
Y los
criminal.
venezolanos somos de origen humilde.
Most Venezuelans come from humble origins,
Pues quienes se creyeron dueños de este país,
and those that believe to be the owners of this country, they didn't care at all to do it.
bueno, los tiene el comisario Douglas Rico, están a la
Commis-
orden de quien sea para
Commissioner
revisar
Douglas Rico has the figures,
como quieran,
and anyone that wants to check them,
como quieran.
they can do it.
Hoy en la mañana, todos los lunes,
Every Monday, this gentleman hands the summary. I have it on my phone here.
para que no vayan a parar. Y esto es, y tengo, mira, Douglas Rico, reporte
Douglas
semana
Rico's
34,
weekly report, 34, right?
semana 34,
Week 34.
va, para este momento. O sea, comparado este año,
So
con el año
comparing
pasado,
this year with last year,
19
we have
homicidios
we have
menos.
219 less homicides compared to last year.
Esto es científico,
This is scientific fact.
científico. Ah, la paz.
Peace.
Les duele la paz.
That's what bothers them. That's what bothers them. That's why our president has ordered this deployment to guarantee peace. Because if they want to go through the border, they won't be able to.
Creo que el venezolano, con su forma de ser,
I think that Venezuelans, with their way of being,
feliz
as other countries as well,
y quiere vivir
is a people that loves happiness and wants to live in peace.
está
And
cansado.
the people are tired of threats and of the illusions.
Mira, aquí está, perdón. ¿Ves? ¿Está aquí? ¿Se ve? Aquí están los gráficos. Estos son los gráficos que pasa este caballero.
These are the charts that this gentleman sends every week.
Claro, los imprimo y los veo porque no los
I have
veo
to print them because it's very small. I have to imprint them so I can see it fully.
Mira, esto es. Esto fue.
See here?
Esta es la .50 con su
This is the .50 caliber with its
normal y más pesado.
silencer, which is bigger than a regular rifle.
Esto fue lo que encontramos.
This is what we found.
En un barrio de Caracas.
We did not find this in a poor neighborhood in Caracas. This was not brought here by the humble people.
¿Quién lo trajo?
Who brought this here?
¿Quién lo trajo? ¿Para qué lo trajeron?
With what purpose?
¿Contra quién lo iban a usar? Eso no es
Against
convencional.
whom was going to be used?
Y no-
That's
no,
not conventional.
Tampoco no. Vamos a practicar tiro blanco con 1.50. Pon ahí
And
el
it's not
blanco.
used also for
Eso no existe.
competing.
Sí. Eso lo utilizaron. Ahí hay cartuchos.
There are rounds there. That rifle,
Búsquenlo.
you can look it up.
Hay cartuchos, ¿verdad, Juan? Que
There are
atraviesan
rounds that are able to
el
penetrate
muro. Mire, el
the
muro
wall
que separa las autopistas,
that
ese
wall
muro
that
de concreto,
separates the highway,
le
that
disparan y los atraviesa.
concrete wall.
Imagínense
They
ustedes,
can fire with this and go through it.
ese cartucho fue
Imagine
el primero que
a human
utilizaron
being.
en defensa antiaérea.
Those bullets were the first ones used in anti-air defenses,
Y lo traen para acá.
and they brought it
las
here,
narcobandas.
the drug gangs, to kill their own people.
Gracias, Lorenzo.
La cuarta y última pregunta la realiza María Jiménez por Venezolana de Televisión.
Muy buenos días,
Buenos días,
ministro.
María.
Dos preguntas.
Two questions.
Estos anuncios que acaba de
This
dar a conocer el
announcement
día
that
de
you
hoy, la
just
activación
made